Histograms. Yeah, it's happening. What's up, guys? My name is Zach Miller, and today we are talking about the histogram and how to use it. So sure, you can use the screen to check your exposure and tell if your image is underexposed or overexposed. It's not always the most accurate, despite being the quickest. A much more accurate way to use your camera and check your exposure is the histogram. Daniel Lozano wrote a book called The Photography Bible, and I feel like he words it best. A histogram is a graph that provides a visual representation of the spread of tones in an image, from the shadows on the left to the highlights on the right. So now that we've described what a histogram is, we've got through all that boring mess, it's essential to note that a properly exposed image will typically have a histogram that slopes in towards the middle, leaving the left and right sides away from the tip top. If you're hitting the top of the histogram, that usually means that if you're on the left, your shadows or blacks are clipping. And if you're on the right and you're hitting the top of that histogram, it means that your highlights are clipping. Now, we typically are okay with exposing a little darker than we should because shadows can be pulled up a lot easier than highlights can be pulled down. However, you still want to keep your shadows and your highlights from clipping, because once clipped, these areas cannot be recovered. We're not talking about underexposed, we're talking about clip. So watch out for this when you're shooting. Now keep in mind, the histogram is not always right. Some scenes are naturally going to be blown out, such as a bright cloudless sky with no color. That happens a lot. And some scenes are naturally just darker than others. For example, the scene that I'm in right now will show up as underexposed because I'm in a darker environment. So a histogram is simply a guide. We don't want to only base our exposure off of the histogram. We want to use the built-in light meter. We want to use the screen. I mean, the screen is very important too, but the histogram also is a very useful tool that everybody needs to learn to use. Anyway, I hope that helps you understand exposure just a wee bit more. As for now, you know the drill. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, hit it twice. Then mosey on over to the subscribe button and hit that too if you're into that. And as for now, have an amazing freaking day.